we speak, our enemies are assembling. Whatever happens tonight, I will stand and fight.
Can you stop him?
Not alone.
This should be tons of fun.
Shots fired.
Dope as hell.
Is that all you got?
Outstanding.
What did you say your name was?
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel has been releasing a bunch more Daredevil and Spider-Man trailers because both Spider-Man obviously just came out, but Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is also in the middle of premiering next week, the first couple of episodes. I'll be doing weekly episode videos for that, so be sure to subscribe if you're brand new to my channel to get all those. It is going to be a cameo watch during Daredevil Born Again Season 2, like who is going to show up during these episodes. People wondering if Spider-Man will show up, but all the Defenders actors have been posting pictures of themselves on the regular right now, so it just seems like a lot of them will also show up during the Season 2. I know there have been a ton of questions about what's going on with Daredevil during the events of the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, all because Punisher is such a big part of the movie and he's so connected to Daredevil Born Again and what happened during the events of Season 1 and what's going on during Season 2 of the show and the Punisher special presentation. Metaphorically and literally, it seems like New York has been a battleground for about the past year, and during the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, you also notice that it seems like there's a totally different mayor of New York City handing the key to the city to Spider-Man. We know that Spider-Man Brand New Day takes place after the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, meaning that the trailer probably gives away the way they end Daredevil Born Again Season 2 with Mayor Fisk, because many of the scenes in the trailer that I put at the beginning of this video imply that there's a full-on assault by Daredevil, his friends, his new Defenders, teammates here in the background, assaulting Fisk in his office, both at night as a mob here, like basically them protesting against him, literally coming after him, but also legally as Matt Murdock lawyer during day. So a lot of people are like, where is Spider-Man during all this? Where was he during Season 1 during the big blackout? What about the events of the Thunderbolts movie 2 in the new Avengers, Val OXC? What was happening in New York City while all this was going down too? A lot of this stuff has a much better chance of being addressed during Daredevil Born Again because there's so much more time that they have to spend episode to episode than in like a 2.5, 3 hour movie like Spider-Man Brand New Day or even like the Thunderbolts movie. For instance, how much Daredevil did they reference during the Thunderbolts movie? How much Spider-Man did they reference during the events of the Thunderbolts movie? Spider-Man may have gotten sucked into the void briefly. You just have to picture Spider-Man in the Thunderbolts movie crawling out of the void with a whole bunch of mystery bruises. Somebody call that kid a doctor. Speaking of which, thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. I know I'm supposed to be invincible and post videos every day no matter what, but a couple times in the past few years, I gotten so sick that I could barely crawl to the microphone. I finally caved and decided to see a doctor, but since moving to a new part of town, it was an absolute nightmare trying to find a doctor to see based on my healthcare plan. It was almost worse than actually being sick. Figuring everything out sucked until I learned about ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click instantly to book an appointment. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or one of the other 150-plus specialties offered on ZocDoc, you can easily search by specialty or symptom to build the healthcare team that's right for you. ZocDoc makes it easy to book an in-network appointment with more than 150,000 providers across 50 states. ZocDoc also helps you get appointments really fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, and you can even score same-day appointments sometimes. No need to call a doctor's office. ZocDoc lets you do everything online. So if you're like me and you usually wait till you're about to die to go see the doctor, stop waiting and go get yourself the care that you need. Go to my link here, I'll put it up on screen and down in the description below, ZocDoc.com/emergencyawesome to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/emergencyawesome. Get yourself the right kind of help, and thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this. Generally, the way that Sony and Marvel handle stuff like this, like really complicated background stuff, especially right now in the era where they've changed the way they do all the movies and the TV shows, is to A, not address it. How do you win this game? By not playing, basically. So what'll probably happen in Spider-Man Brand New Day, because all this stuff will be after the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Thunderbolts, all that stuff. There might be some light references to what happened with the Sentry in the Void and things being crazy in the city for a little while, because there's supposed to be a montage to explain what Spider-Man has been doing for the past couple of years. I think this is what a couple of his fights during the trailer were meant to be references to, like the Boomerang fight, the Tarantula fight. They kind of did something similar during Across the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales to explain all the different fights that he'd been in with villains over the past couple of years since the previous movie had gone down. And when it comes to Daredevil Born Again stuff during Season 2, with Matt Murdock and everybody else, the Defenders characters taking him down and him no longer being mayor at the end of Season 2 or after Season 2, they'll just say that a lot of really crazy stuff went down. There'll be some light references in the background, like Punisher might have some reference to Matt Murdock or something like that. Charlie Cox has been asked about Spider-Man Brand New Day a number of times, like, are you in this movie as Daredevil? What's going on? And he is adamant that he is not in the movie, which actually makes me think that he might be in the movie, because there's a lot of dead space during this one fight that he has with the Hand. So people are like, who are the other two missing characters here? Maybe Punisher, maybe Daredevil are fighting the Hand with him. That would actually make sense. So maybe a small Daredevil cameo in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Let me tell you something.
I tell you what.
Tell you what.
I gotta tell you something.
We did actually spot some Thunderbolts Easter eggs inside the Daredevil Born Again trailers, though, so there will be a little bit of Thunderbolt stuff going on in the background. For instance, on the shipping crates where you see Jessica Jones using her powers against all the other anti-vigilante task force people, just laying them out, a bunch of the crates say OXC on them, so I'm assuming this is down near the docks, and what's happening is that Kingpin is getting a lot of his armaments, his weapons, his gear from Val in OXE. It would make sense that he is connected to OXE because they are so shady and he doesn't care where stuff comes from. He'd have to get all of his weapons from somewhere, and that's basically what Val does for a living. That's how she got all her money. There's also a brand new scene with Matthew Lillard's Mr. Charles character in these trailers. He says that he comes from the same world as Valentina in OXE. Val, it kind of sounds like he's just a profiteer who benefits off of really shady stuff. Like he's somebody who spent a lot of time on Madripoor. But he wasn't trying to say that he works for Val, just that he is someone similar to Val with a company kind of like OXE, like he does similar types of things like that. You also probably spotted some of the funnier Easter eggs in the background here too, where you see Fisk inside the trial here, where it seems like Matt Murdock is going after him as lawyer Matt Murdock, trying to find a legal way to get rid of him. And he says, as we speak, our enemies are assembling, which I love is this very ironic Avengers Assemble twist. Like it's meant to be a comp to Daredevil's Defenders. Defenders assemble. But part of the idea here is that Fisk is trying to make it seem like they're the villains, like Daredevil is the villain, trying to get rid of him. He's the good guy, like all the terrible people in New York City are the good guys, and all the really actually good heroes are coming after them. We get a couple new scenes of Jessica Jones. There's also a new scene of Karen Page getting in a fight in an interrogation room, which just seems like she is just ready for blood. Beware of Karen Page with a gun. She is one of the most deadly characters in the MCU. There are a lot of you that were asking about this in my previous Daredevil video. Yes, she did shoot and kill Wesley during Daredevil Season 1 on Netflix. This is why Kingpin hates her so much. He didn't like her before this because she was wrapped up in exposing some of his shady activities. But it was really killing Wesley, who was sort of like his favorite person in the world. So he really wants to find any excuse he can to get rid of Karen Page. And a lot of people asked about this. No, you're not seeing things. This is Wesley alive. New scene that they filmed with Kingpin, and he didn't return from the dead or anything like that. They're probably filming it for a flashback. They're probably like a big flashback episode during Season 2. There are a couple of new scenes of Angela Del Toro in her version of the White Tiger gear, trying to honor her uncle, basically, taking the mantle from him. She got the amulet as well, so assuming that she'll also get the same powers as well when she wears the amulet. There's another new scene of Cherry being interrogated by the anti-vigilante task force. Everybody pray for Cherry. Maybe he'll be okay, maybe not. Like, the body count is probably going to be pretty high during Season 2. Brett Mahoney is also back from the Daredevil Netflix series too. He's been posting a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes pics as well. We also see a bunch more scenes of the characters using Punisher's lair from Season 1. The funny way that Charlie Cox talked about it too, because people asked him about using Punisher's lair, like is he subletting his apartment to you during the actual episodes, was mostly because people were trying to get him to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day, because Punisher is in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like, what's happening with him in the Spider-Man movie? Are you also in the Spider-Man movie? Is he just subletting to you while he's busy with Spider-Man? And it was mostly Charlie Cox trying to not answer questions about Spider-Man. My assumption in the context of the actual series, they're using Punisher's lair because it's so off-grid and so well hidden, because Punisher was using it for so long. Of course, he'd be using a place that nobody could track and nobody knew about.
Nice place you got here.
Appreciate that.
And you also notice in this lineup here where they're at City Hall coming for Fisk, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Karen Page, Cherry is next to them, so it seems like Cherry is fine. There's all these other people like Angela Del Toro, really tiny here next to Jessica Jones, in her white tiger gear, but also behind them, there are a bunch of people dressed up in their Daredevil costumes to look like Daredevil. This is actually inspired by the comics. They did this scene basically in the comics with like a people's army that Daredevil was leading against Fisk. You have to imagine while this is happening, Spider-Man is also helping people around the city too, but otherwise he would be here behind them helping out just because there's a rights issue, and Sony probably did everything they could to try and block Spider-Man from showing up during Daredevil episodes. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and all your predictions for which cameo scenes we see, like which Defenders actors, what kind of Spider-Man references are we going to see during the Season 2 episodes. But because there's so much stuff happening right now between Daredevil episodes and Spider-Man, if there's anything that I didn't address during the video, any Easter eggs or references or questions you have about any of the characters anywhere, or even Avengers Doomsday stuff, just let me know in the comments below. I think they're dropping the first 2 episodes on the first day. That's usually what they do. Whatever they do wind up releasing, that's when my video will post. It'll probably be Tuesday night late, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. I just did a whole bunch of Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer videos for that. Click here and here for both of those. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.